Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 22 with me, Dan, and the Slothz team as we move on to the officially halfway point of the season, which is in France, much the same as it was last time. We will actually have a different calendar as we get on to season 3. Anyway, on to the R&D, and you can see we're already looking at invested in the heat dispersing wheel rims, the reason for that being that they are a prerequisite for unlocking the plank. What I don't know at this stage is that I should have just unlocked Spec 2 for the chassis, because that would have unlocked another upgrade which allows me to get the plank. So this was a very pointless way of getting to that ultimate end, and really the wrong one, very inefficient and very poor, as I later find out. Anyway, on to practice, and we're picking up as many points as we can, as per usual. Going for the 150 and 75 ones above everything else. Unfortunately, as we tend to get like there, many of the upgrades for especially reliability seem to just throw themselves into that first slots for the 70% success, which we don't actually need nor want at this point. And that makes it very annoying to try and get as many research points as possible. I was slightly distracted there because my dog fell off of my lap onto the floor because he was being a dumbass, and I missed something. I think I just picked up a reliability upgrade, and I must have been feeling ill on that day. Come on then, dog, come up. He is now successfully back on my lap as we continue to finish P3. Another turbo durability upgrade going in there, and for some reason that one is going to take 14 minutes to get 75 points, but thankfully we managed to do it at the 50% chance. And here we go then with the French Grand Prix, with the skyline of Paris sitting behind our lovely graphics as usual. The halfway point of the season, we're only 2 rounds away, which is Belgium, from the point where I decided to give up season 1. So we're actually on great track at this point, given that we're P5, to actually finish the season. Anyway, to see all of that, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you know when all of those races are updated. And we'll look forward to season 3 in a couple of months' time. Onto the starting grid, we have Max Verstappen alongside Fernando Alonso, who's becoming a very frequent visitor of the top part of the grid, I should say. Lando Norris behind him, his teammate sits alongside Lewis Hamilton, followed by Charles Leclerc and the other Red Bull of Sergio Perez. Then we have George Russell, he's alongside home hero Esteban Ocon, although hero would be a bit of a stretch, wouldn't it? Lance Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo make up the rest of the top 10. Carlos Sainz, yet again, outside of the top 10, he's alongside Alex Albon in the Williams, followed by me in P13, that's a great sign, and I'm alongside Kevin Magnussen. Then we have Pierre Gasly and Robert Schwartzman, who's looking very happy about being in P16. Joe Granyu and Théo Pourchaire line up 3 rows back from the back. Oscar Piastri and Yuki Tsunoda on the penultimate row, and you guessed it, it's Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. Right, for the second of the 3 races with no audio because I'm an idiot, we're away in Le Castellet, and there we are actually, just clustered amongst a bunch of cars. We've got Pierre Gasly and Kevin Magnussen challenging us for position here as we go through turn 1. This is chaos everywhere as Lewis Hamilton is just thrown off of the track. So is a bollard actually at the start there. So we've now got a Mercedes behind us. We're now fighting Alex Albon, who's I don't know if he's had a great start. I can't remember where he started, but we're going to try and go around the outside of Carlos Sainz, our nemesis from the last video, who spent literally a million years trying to overtake us. And coming down the first of the DRS straight on the back of the circuit up towards this chicane, we've actually got more of Alex Albon approaching us from behind with threatening intent, as opposed to Carlos Sainz being threatened by us as we nearly throw the car around going through that chicane. Up ahead, some other cars doing stuff. Lewis Hamilton, what the hell happened here? following Fernando Alonso down towards turn 1. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris, actually. Locks up massively, gets hit by a Williams, and gets front row tickets to my battle with Alex Albon. This is Pierre Gasly on his attempt to try and get past us, I think is the reason why the bollard ended up in the shadow realm just now. He looks down the inside. He got a great run on us down here into turn 1. Had to hit the brakes early and then just decided to cut the corner for some reason. Oh, there goes the bollard. It was actually attached to me. Well, that explains a lot because I do have a history of doing that. Anyway, for lap 3, we've got DRS for the first time. Unfortunately, we've not been able to catch up with Carlos Sainz. Lance Stroll makes a pass on Daniel Ricciardo, who amazingly got his Alfa Romeo even further into the top 10. We get a great run here on Carlos Sainz. We're not going to be able to make an attempt here. Or will we, as we actually had to correct ourselves going through that corner, which actually ultimately cost us time and position. Going through there. Behind us, Albon, nearly a second down already. No longer a threat to us, although he was pretty fast earlier on. Continuing into lap 4, we got DRS again. Alex Albon actually crept back up within a little bit of a closer distance. Carlos Sainz goes around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo there. Daniel Ricciardo nearly bins it and crashes into me, and we managed to hold position well. Alex Albon still behind us. We get a great run on Daniel Ricciardo coming up to the flat racer here. And unfortunately, we can't take the best line through there. We have to brake because we're going to run wide, and Daniel Ricciardo takes the position back, which is a little bit disappointing. We try as best we can to get up behind him there, but it just wasn't having it. And we rejoin a lap later following the Alfa Romeo and into the pits at the end of this lap. Look at Alex Albon. If it weren't for the fact that we were here, he'd probably be scoring points fairly consistently. Unfortunately, he's just going to have to live with it for the time being. He follows us into the pit lane. We follow in Daniel Ricciardo, and we've got some other of the drivers coming in as well. Lewis Hamilton actually all the way down at the back. I think he pitted early, which I suppose was the best thing to do given the circumstances that he was under. It looks as though everyone and his dog has just come in as we make a very realistic turn to the right to get into our pit box and come out unsafely behind Daniel Ricciardo, right up his ass to the point where it ghosts us. And everybody seems to be sitting relatively where they were there. There's Lewis Hamilton actually trying to get around Kevin Magnussen into turn 1. Appears to have done it. We will continue on chasing Daniel Ricciardo, and then everyone else should follow suit coming into the pit lane very shortly. But Daniel Ricciardo has been smoking too much and he's blown up his engine, and that was ironic timing, bearing in mind he'd just come into the pits. His Alfa Romeo has just completely exploded. He looked as though he tried to crash into multiple cars as he tried to retire the car. As we wipe out another bollard, as we rejoin on lap 9, chasing down Lance Stroll. Somehow we're really struggling at this circuit to do well. I think the straight line speed advantage we had at the start of the season has gone straight out the window now, and we're just another basic bitch on the grid, not able to make our way through the field anymore. And we're not getting the opportunity there to get past Lance Stroll. We do have to proceed with caution because he has a habit of crashing into people through pretty much every single career mode that we've done, every multiplayer. We get down the inside. He did take a swipe at us and may have damaged his front wing, but it's not our problem at this point, and quite frankly, he's not going to get a chance to overtake us again. Here is the move. Pushing him out wide, down the inside. We do miss the apex quite considerably there, so we didn't help ourselves. And unfortunately, that was about it for track action. We're still behind Carlos Sainz. There's a big train of cars up ahead being led by Sergio Perez. Unfortunately, Carlos Sainz isn't close enough to get within range, which actually might be to our benefit here because he won't have DRS either. And we can still couple of points from him. Double our value to 4, assuming we don't get the fastest lap. But we've also got to consider that Lance Stroll is behind us as well, and we have to proceed with a lot of caution here as we come round onto the back straight. Carlos Sainz here does have the advantage coming out of these corners. He is particularly fast round the bends. We get the DRS, and we're going close up to the back of him. Weave to the left and to the right. Round the outside we go and make the move stick. Lance Stroll also assisted us there by keeping Carlos Sainz well to the inside. And here we go with the onboard replay. Down the inside, or round the outside we go. Carlos Sainz remains defensive, and we didn't have to put up much of a battle there for the final part of the race. And as we come round, finish line is in sight, just a couple of corners away. Lance Stroll also gets a position, pushing Carlos Sainz all the way down to 10th. Hence my comments recently about him being absolutely dreadful in this career mode. At least he seems to be following this recent restart anyway. And we cross the line with the Alpine roaring past us with no regard for safety whatsoever. Charles Leclerc picks up the driver of the day, and we'll get to see who the winner of the race was. It was Max Verstappen, and he's joined by his teammate on the podium there, Sergio Perez. Looks like the McLarens didn't quite make it. They were too far back in the end. You can see them in the background there, watching the celebrations of Max Verstappen, who lifts the trophy, receives a round of applause by seemingly only his team, and sprays Adrian Newey with an obscene amounts of expensive champagne. I guess it's on to the race results, but a great season so far. Lots of different winners. And here we are with the final results. Max Verstappen gets maximum points with the fastest lap, followed by Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, George Russell, me, Lance Stroll, and Carlos Sainz. Onto the Drivers' Championship, Fernando Alonso stays at the top, but he is being closed in on by Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Then we have George Russell, Sergio Perez, Lando Norris, me, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, and Esteban Ocon. Further down the order, we have Lance Stroll, Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, Nicolas Latifi, Teo Pourchaire, Kevin Magnussen, Robert Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, and Zhou Guanyu. And over in the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull draw level with McLaren on more than 200 points ahead of Ferrari and Mercedes. Then we have me, Slothz in 5th, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Williams, Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Aston Martin. That's all for now. We'll catch you in Hungary.